Good morning, everybody. I'm glad we all can make it. Are you guys excited to be here?
Yeah.
Okay, well today we're going to be starting a new book, the Book of Daniel. Have you guys heard of the Book of Daniel?
Yeah.
What's Daniel famous for?
Lions.
Yes, and what happened to the lions?
He ate them.
No, he didn't eat the lions. Does anyone know? Yeah,
I
yes.
know.
What happened? What happened?
One time I went to the store and I bought a toy and it was so cool because it was a transformer.
Yeah, that sounds really cool, but what happened to Daniel and the lions? Well, does someone want to pray for us? Anyone? No one wants to pray?
I'll pray.
Okay, go ahead, let's pray.
Jesus, thank you for today and thank you for my family and for my dog and for my new toys that I got at the store, and I hope we have fun today in class and that we all get home safe. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Skylar. So, Daniel chapter 1, starting in verse 1. In the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. Does anyone know what besieged means?
No.
No? Besieged means to surround a city and to prevent food from coming in. If no food comes into your city, do you guys know what will happen?
Everybody starves.
Everybody starves. Is that a good thing?
Yes.
Why is that good, Skylar?
Because Jesus.
Because Jesus. Well, Jesus is always a Sunday school answer. But no, it's not a good thing. Rachel was right. And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, verse 2, into his hand with some of the articles of the house of God, and he carried it into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God, and he brought the articles into the treasury of the house of his God. So notice in verse 2, it says who? It says, and the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand. So God wanted them? What do you guys think? Do you guys think God wanted the king of Babylon to take over the people of Israel?
Yes.
Yeah, it says so. Why would God want that to happen? God wanted that to happen, if we read the book of Jeremiah, as a punishment. The people of Israel weren't following God. So no, God was forcing them, or putting them in a position, I should say, to follow him. Verse 3, then the king instructed Aspenaz, the master of his eunuchs, to bring some of the children of Israel and said, hey guys, can you please pay attention? Verse 3, then king instructed Aspenaz, the master of the eunuchs, to bring some of the children of Israel and some of the king's descendants, and some of the nobles, young men in whom there was no blemish, but good-looking, gifted in all wisdom, possessing knowledge, and quick to understand, who had ability to serve in the king's palace, and to whom they might teach the language of the literature of the Chaldeans. Who threw that? Who threw that? Rachel, was that you? Rachel, was that you? Skylar, did you throw that?
No.
No. We'll continue. Young men in whom, verse 4, knew there was no blemish, but good-looking, gifted in all wisdom, possessing knowledge, and quick to understand, who had ability to serve in the king's palace, to whom they might teach the language of the literature of the Chaldeans. So the king of Babylon is taking all the men of Israel that he felt like were gifted and wise and ability to do really good things, so he could teach them to be like them. The king of Babylon were making them like themselves. The king of Babylon wanted them to be Babylonians. And we'll see he takes us even further. Verse 5, and the king appointed for them a daily provision of the king's delicacies and of the wine which he drank, and 3 years of training for them, so that at the end of that time they might serve before the king. You could even say, are you guys paying attention or are you looking at pictures? Paying attention?
Well, my Bible's really, really cool. It's like, it's got pictures in it, but it's the Bible, so I'm paying attention.
Okay, your Bible is really, really cool, and pictures are really, really helpful. But it'd be good for you guys to make sure you're following along with Daniel. Are you in the story of Daniel?
Actually, I am. But a different one. It's Daniel chapter 2.
Daniel chapter 2. Well, you're really close. We're in Daniel chapter 1. So the king took all these people that he wanted to teach, and he taught them, and he gave them all of the king's... Rachel, pay attention. He gave them all of the king's delicacies to eat. Was it good for them to have the king's food? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think the king ate really good food?
Yeah.
What if I told you it was bad for them to have the king's food? Would you be surprised?
Yeah.
Why would it be bad for them to have the king's food? Does anyone know?
Because it's poison.
Because it's poison? No, it wasn't actually poison. God commanded them to only eat certain foods. God said these are the foods as Israelites that you're supposed to eat. And if you ate the king's food, these weren't the right types of foods that God allowed them to eat. Now, can we eat whatever we want?
Yeah.
Well, actually, according to the New Testament, Jesus said whatever goes into a man's stomach doesn't defile a man. But whatever comes out of a man's mouth, this is what defiles a man. So it's true, we can eat whatever we want, but they were under the Old Testament law, and to follow God, they have to follow that. Are you guys glad we don't have to follow those rules still?
Yeah.
How many of you guys like to eat bacon? You guys like bacon?
Yeah.
What about snails? Ugh, snails. You don't like snails? No, but bacon's good. And because of Jesus, we can eat bacon. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite kind of bacon?
Not Canadian.
Yeah.
Not Canadian? I agree. Ugh, Canadian bacon.
All right, verse 5. So the king was trying to make them to be like them. Verse 6. Now from those of the sons of Judah were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. 3 very godly names. But verse 7, to them the chief of the eunuchs gave names. He gave Daniel the name Belteshazzar, Hananiah, Shadrach, Mishael, Meshach, and to Azariah, Abednego. So these 3 different names. So what does changing their names do? Changing their names makes them look like they're paganism. These are pagan god names that he gave to them. This was to try to make them, hey Rachel, this was to try to make them more like the Chaldeans or more like the Babylonians. Now verse 8, this is the big verse and I want you guys to get this. Skylar, Rachel, Skylar, pay attention. What verse are we on? Daniel. We are on verse Daniel. Verse 8 says, but Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portions of the king's delicacies, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore, he requested to the chief of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. But Daniel said he wasn't going to eat the king's food. So again, was the king's food good?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the king's food tasted good?
Yes.
But was it good?
No.
Why was it bad?
Because God said so.
Because God said so. God told them not to eat this food. So it was bad for them to eat, right? God said, don't eat these foods. So what does it say in verse 8? But Daniel purposed in his heart. So that means Daniel decided internally he wasn't going to eat this food. That he didn't want to defile himself with the king's delicacies. Are there bad things in this earth that we're not supposed to do?
Yeah.
Are they fun?
Yeah.
What are some? You guys ever do anything that's really fun that you weren't supposed to do?
Steal candy out of the candy jar.
Steal candy out of the candy jar? Skylar, you have a candy jar? That's really cool. Should she have stole it? What do you think, Rachel? Was it bad for her to steal it?
Yeah.
What did you do? Did you get caught, Skylar?
Nope.
Nope. That's not good either. That's not good either. The candy didn't taste good? But is stealing bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, stealing is bad. So he purposed in his heart. How do we purpose in our hearts? What do you guys think? How do you purpose in your heart not to do bad things?
You tell your heart, don't do bad things.
Will that work?
Yeah.
Yeah? But what if you lie to your heart and you still do bad things?
Ask Jesus.
Ask Jesus. Now it's the right answer that time.
Jesus. You have to have Jesus transform your heart. You have to have Jesus change who you are internally so that you won't want to do bad things. In fact, he'll give you a desire that doesn't want to do these things. And you can be like Daniel and say, I'm going to purpose in my heart to do what I know God has called me to do because God has transformed my heart. We'll see later as we get further on in the book of Daniel that God really, really, really was working on his life. And then Daniel was always focused on God. The story we talked about early, we'll see is in Daniel chapter 6, where it's Daniel in the lion's den. And he didn't eat the lions, but what happened to Daniel in the lion's den? Do you know, Rachel?
The lions ate him.
The lions didn't eat him. Do you know, Skylar, what happened to Daniel in the lion's den?
I don't know.
I don't know.
The lions actually kept their mouths shut because God protected him. God saved him. It's an amazing story. So we'll continue with Daniel chapter 1 next week. Hopefully we can finish the chapter. I hope you guys enjoyed the study. Thank you for somewhat paying attention. And also, thank you for bringing Batman and your action Bible. So let's pray. Who wants to pray?
Okay.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Jesus, thank you for your word and the things that you tell us and teach us, and help us all to have a really good day. And thanks for my mom. Amen.
Amen.